It all began as an ordinary day in September, an ordinary day in Raccoon City, a city controlled by Umbrella. No one dared to oppose them, and that lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction. I suppose they had to suffer the consequences of their actions, but there would be no forgiveness. If only they had had the courage to fight. It's true that once the wheels of justice begin to turn, nothing can stop them. Nothing. It was Raccoon City's last chance, and my last chance. My last escape.
Jill Valentine, one of the very few STARS members to make it out alive of the Spencer Mansion incident. She fought against the deadliest creatures mankind had ever encountered, but thanks to the help of her STARS comrades and refusal to become a brain-dead casualty of Umbrella's own creations, she managed to survive even when it came to facing off against the super soldier known as the Tyrant. She had finally escaped the Spencer Mansion, and for a moment there, she felt safe. But now that Raccoon City has become the next target of the T-Virus outbreak, she must face her inner demons and fight for survival yet again. The RPD, along with the SWAT teams and even Umbrella soldiers, were sent in to contain the hazardous situation, but none could survive the fight against the uncontrollable hordes of undead citizens. After the first battle was over, rain started pouring rapidly, covering the screams and trembling moans coming from the undead. This gives Jill the opportunity to commence her journey to find survivors and help them escape Raccoon City. But on her way, she finds a deserted teddy bear. Jill is saddened by the fact that it must have belonged to a child, and seeing as the teddy bear is stained with blood, then the poor child may have not survived, like most citizens of Raccoon City. While it seems that most of the city's inhabitants are no longer living, danger approaches Jill as she is lost in thought. With the rain interfering with most noises such as footsteps and the trembling moans coming from the undead, it takes a very close encounter till she looks behind and notices the group of zombies about to feast on her flesh. She quickly jumps out of the way as the closest one leaps towards her. She aims her M92F carrying 15 9mm rounds, but she hesitates to shoot as what appeared to be a small group of zombies suddenly turned into an enormous horde of zombies. Jill is surprised to see just how many of them appeared out of nowhere, but she doesn't have enough ammo to bring them all down. So she analyzes the environment and spots the body of a man wearing a vest with grenades. So she aims carefully and fires. The grenades go off, and within an instant, the zombies were decimated. Jill rolled out of the way and avoided the explosion. The explosion had elevated Jill's heartbeat, and she was struck with both fear and anxiety. But because of the explosion, this drew the attention of more zombies, and once again, the streets were flooded with the living dead. Jill isn't sure what her next move should be, as it would be impossible to bring them all down without another explosion going off. And even if that were to be an option, it might worsen the situation. So she begins to back away slowly, and then quickly retreat before more of them start appearing. She continues running forward and hopes that no other hordes lie ahead. The streets along the way seem too quiet and abandoned. There is no telling whether she is going the right way, or if it could be a dead end. Suddenly, a stray bullet flies right in front of her, narrowly missing her head, followed up by 3 additional shots. Jill knows that zombies couldn't possibly fire a weapon, so who's firing at her direction? And as it turns out, a man was firing at a zombie that was near Jill's direction. This man was revealed to be Brad Vickers. Jill was shocked but glad to see that one of her STARS comrades was still alive. He too was surprised to see her, but he tells her that there's no time to chit-chat. They need to keep moving. They need to get out of the city while they can. She tells him, "How can you say that? As a member of STARS, we have a duty to protect the citizens of this city. Or do I have to pull rank on you?" Brad replies, "Joining STARS was one of the worst mistakes of my life. It has only brought me pain and misery, and right now I'm getting out of this hellhole." Brad runs off on his own, and Jill tries to keep up with him while trying to convince him not to leave her and that they need to stick together. But Brad tells her to stop following him, and he continues moving fast, making his way towards the entrance of the Raccoon City Police Department. They reach the entrance and Brad tells her once again, "Jill, I won't say this again! Leave me alone!" Jill instantaneously stops as she just spotted something much worse than a horde of zombies headed their way, and it turns out to be the nemesis. Brad was near the entrance doors, but the nemesis landed right in front of him. Jill cries out to Brad, telling him that he needs to run for it, but it was too late as the nemesis was already within his grasp. As Brad is about to meet an unsettling fate, Jill is at a distance, frightened, as she has felt this feeling before. The feeling of knowing that she is so helpless. And as the hulking creature approaches closer, Brad tries to run for it, and this only gives Nemesis more enjoyment before it tears the life out of this terrified STARS member. The Nemesis grabs him by the shoulder and turns him around. Brad was paralyzed with fear, and he could do nothing but scream. The Nemesis then proceeds to pierce his parasitic tentacle through Brad's face, instantly killing him. Jill could do nothing to prevent the death of her STARS comrade, and she could only look away in horror. But the Nemesis is not done yet, and Jill is her next victim. Jill now realizes that the creature's goals are clear: the elimination of all remaining STARS members. Jill has only two choices: fight with the Nemesis, or flee the area in hopes of escaping from the clutches of this damnable creature. And this is where we end the first video of Jill's struggle in Raccoon City. If you've played through Resident Evil 3, then you know that this is just the inception of what lies ahead. And with that said, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, be sure to leave a like, share with others, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you'd like to see some extra content, or you'd like to see your name at the end of the videos, then feel free to support the channel by donating a single dollar to my Patreon. There are also additional perks for donating more than $1. The link is on the description, along with the link to my Facebook page, Tumblr, DeviantArt, and Twitter. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.